for the purposes of this testing, we're not going to be taking any damage reduction. So, I would like to talk about gunner damage resistance because I think this is one of the biggest noob trap stats in the entire game. Okay, so let's talk about what it doesn't do. So it doesn't help you versus shotgunners or trash mobs at all. This is very easy to prove by showing you the ranges at which we take X amount of shotgunner damage. So we're consistently around this like 60-ish range, give or take a little bit. So this like 40 to 60 range from 10 meters. Now, if we put on gunner damage resistance on all of our curios, still having no toughness reduction from the tree, you can see that from the same distance, we're going to take, I turned invisibility on. We're going to take the same or more damage, just consistently across the board. So it's very easily provable that it doesn't work against shotgunners. So if you're taking this to stop shotgunners, then maybe rethink that one. However, another big issue with this, oops, didn't mean to spawn you, sorry. Another big issue is this. So if we tag this from 5 meters away, with gunner damage resistance, we go down to 83 health. With no gunner damage resistance, we also go down to 83 health. So the only thing that gunner damage resistance works on is it works against taggable elite gunners. You know, the guys with the machine guns. Reapers are counted in that, yes, in case you're wondering. And this leads to a few problems. And I need to show you frame by frame to explain in depth. First off, 20, 40, 60 doesn't lead to 60% less damage taken because of how percent scaling works and diminishing returns affect percents. You're only getting 50% actual damage reduction. Though, how that damage reduction works with other forms of damage reduction is worth talking about. So I'm just showing here that we have no gunner damage reduction, and we have no iron will or anything from the skill tree, and we go from 184 to 168. So a gunner does 16 damage per shot. Now, if we add in gunner damage resistance, remember, we would be expecting a 60% decrease, so it should only be hitting us for about 7 or 6. But you can see that it will consistently hit us for 8 because of diminishing returns. See, we go to 176, which is 8. Now, you may wonder, how does this stack with a node like Iron Will? Well, I'm happy to report that it actually stacks fantastically well with them. So with no gunner damage resistance, you can see that we go down to 176, as if we had full damage resistance. Now, I'll talk about some problems with this later, and why it kind of invalidates gunner damage resistance, but that proves that gunner damage resistance is halving the damage gunners deal to you. And if you combine Iron Will plus gunner damage resistance, you would expect a result exactly that you get. We go from 8 damage to 4 damage. Now, that is everything about the mechanics behind how gunner damage resistance works. But here's what you might not know. Gunners are a non-issue pretty much ever. So let me turn invisibility on. And, not you, we want the elite gunners. Let me get the elite gunner. Now, I'm going to place these guys everywhere around me. And I'm going... So this is more than you would ever expect in a game, yeah? And we are going to start directly in the middle, and I'm going to try to get behind one of those pillars. Let's say, that pillar looks clear. Let's say that pillar right there. And we're going to try to get to that pillar fully surrounded in the open without taking any damage. Okay, let's go. Well, there you go. We just went, how far was that? We just went 23 meters in the open, fully surrounded, going from the worst possible situation, all directions, to cover. Here, let me try it again, but I'm going to give them a chance to start shooting me. Okay, I kind of screwed the pooch there at the end, like, really badly. But you kind of get the point, right? Even if I let them start shooting me, which you would never just stand here and allow them to start attacking you, but even if you do that, you can still massively reduce the damage you take by playing well around gunners. So all I'm doing here is I'm sliding and then dodging. When you are sliding, or I'm sorry, I'm dodging then sliding. When you slide, which is just crouch by the way, if you dodge and then immediately crouch, you will go into a slide. While you're sliding this entire time, you are immune to gunner damage. So this will whenever you hear a shotgunner like chick, if you see like if all these guys were shotgunners and you don't know what to do, you could just do this as a catch-all cover option for them. So, in conclusion, gunner damage resistance only halves the damage of these particular gunners. It doesn't work on most gunners in the game. And the gunners that it does work on are easily suppressed. They are easily played around by dodging. And if you're not a silly Billy, you won't run straight out of cover and into a line of gunners and then get shredded. I know some people say that's why they take it, and while I respect your hustle grind set, I think you should work towards not putting yourself in that position. And even if you do put yourself in that position, as long as you remember this tech, you can get yourself out of it. Okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about gunner damage resistance.